Hey guys, my name is Trinity, and if you are here, you must be here to talk about books. And in today's video, I'm about to out myself. We are going to be talking about the 10 oldest books in my TBR, and should I read them? But I'm gonna need your guys' opinion on this because they have sat in my TBR list for forever. And what I am doing right now is I'm pulling up my Goodreads, and I'm just going to pull up my books, and we're going to talk about the ones that have sat there on my list for years and years and years. Okay, so here's the first one, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have actually added this to my Pop Sugar reading challenge for this year. I don't know why it has been on my TBR for so long, but this is the reason it made it to my Pop Sugar reading challenge, because it is the oldest book on my TBR. And, I just recently figured out how much I love sci-fi, so this kind of falls into the I just figured out how much I love sci-fi, but it's also one of those that gets so many bad reviews. Even though on Goodreads it sits at a 4.22, I know so many people who love it and so many people who hate it. And so it's just kind of sat there, and I haven't read it yet. So what are your thoughts and opinions on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Should I read it? I probably will read it because it's on my Pop Sugar challenge this year. But thoughts? Oh, Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Now, I did not like Good Omens at all. And so I have not read any more Terry Pratchett. I have not read any more Neil Gaiman. I did say that I was going to give Neil Gaiman another shot, but I still have not read Coraline. Is that a book I should read? I do like horror, so I feel like if I'm gonna like Neil Gaiman, this is probably the one I'm gonna like. But again, this 2011, that's when I added this to my TBR. The Lacuna by Barbara Kingsolver. I do love Barbara Kingsolver. However, this one, it hasn't really appealed to me in the way that a lot of her books have, and that is because Pearl Harbor is where this is set. And I don't know. I keep debating this one. Let me read you the synopsis so you can help me decide. In her most accomplished novel, Barbara Kingsolver takes us on an epic journey from the Mexico City of artist Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo to the America of Pearl Harbor, FDR, and J. Edgar Hoover. The Lacuna is a poignant story of a man pulled between two nations as they invent their modern identities. Born in the United States, reared in a series of provisional households in Mexico, from a coastal island jungle to the 1930s Mexico City, Harrison Shepard finds precarious shelter but no sense of home in this thrilling odyssey. Life is whatever he learns from housekeepers who put him to work in the kitchen, errands he runs in the streets, and one fateful day by mixing plaster for a famed Mexican muralist, Diego Rivera. He discovers a passion for Aztec history and meets the exotic imperious artist Frida Kahlo, who will become his lifelong friend. When he goes to work for Lev Trotsky, an exiled political leader fighting for his life, Shepard inadvertently casts his lot with art and revolution, newspaper headlines and howling gossip, and a risk of terrible violence. So, it sounds really good. I don't know how I feel about the artistic aspect of this. Maybe I can actually put this in my Pop Sugar Challenge for books about an artist, even though the main character is not necessarily an artist, but we are talking about artists. Ugh, I don't know. 2011, guys. That's how long this has been on my list. It's on my shelves. I do have it. Next on my list would be Ill Wind by Rachel Kane. This is the Weather Warden series, and I do own a lot of the series. I found them at the buy sell trade for like 25 cents a piece. They're sitting on my shelves right down over here. And every time I think about reading them, I don't know, something just puts me off to them. And they don't have horrible ratings on Goodreads, but I just end up not gravitating towards that series. However, I can't make myself get rid of them because I think I will like them, but I never have picked them up. And I don't know why. Have you guys read the Weather Warden series by Rachel Kane? Number 5. This is a book that I really do want to read. I don't know why I have left it sitting on my TBR for so long, and that's Sabriel by Garth Nix. I do own it, so there's no reason I shouldn't be reading it. And yes, convince me that I need to. Poison by Sarah Poole. I actually did recently buy this book. I didn't realize that I'd had it on my TBR since 2011, but I did buy it, and it is about the Borgias. That's all I know. That's usually all I need to know. Determined to avenge the killing of her father, Francesca Giordano, defying all convention, becomes the official poisoner of the head of the most notorious and dangerous family in Italy, Cardinal Rodrigo Borgia, the confidant of Lucrezia and the lover of Caesar, while pursuing her father's murder. What's not to like about that synopsis? And why have I had it on my TBR since 2011? It makes no sense. It sounds so good. And I think this was recommended to me when I started reading Jean Colligridis. So I love Jean Colligridis, and this sounds very much like what Jean Colligridis would write. So I think I just need to pick it up and read it. I think we are on book 6 now. Let's see. But again, another Neil Gaiman. Stardust. I love the movie. That is what's putting me off to reading that particular book, because I love the movie and I don't want the movie to be ruined. Has anybody ever done that? Like, you love the movie so much, like, you just can't bring yourself to read the book because you know you're going to end up hating the movie? That's the case with this one. But yeah. Stardust. Oh, okay. So this one has been on my shelves since 2012, and I haven't read it yet. The Demon King by Cinda Williams-Chima. Now, I happen to know that this is a very popular series and a very well-loved series, but the covers always have put me off to these books. And I don't know why. I can't tell you what I don't like about the covers. But every time I saw them in a bookstore, I was like, no, I don't want that book. I really don't want that book. And so, yeah. Also, I am skipping over like some classic books that I have on my TBR because Lord knows I ain't gonna read them. Not anytime soon, anyway. I keep them on my TBR because I do eventually want to read them. I just haven't been in the mood for classics. Nefertiti by Michelle Moran. Yes, I've had this book on my TBR since 2012, and I haven't read it, and it's sitting on my shelf right over here. I love historical fiction. I love this era, and it just, Michelle Moran is one of those authors that is always recommended to me. And I sometimes get this mindset of it gets recommended so many times, there's no way I'm gonna like it, and I don't know why that happens, but that does happen to me. Or mainly it's so hyped, there's no way it can be as good as everyone says it is. That's pretty much what it is. And so I haven't read this one yet, but I do love movies set in this era, and I do love books set in this era, and Egypt in general. Love it, love it. And what's the name? The Mummy. The Mummy is one of my favorite movies of all time. We're dealing with Imhotep, and Nefertiti shows up. I love The Mummy, The Scorpion King, Mummy Returns, all of that stuff. And yeah, I should read this. I'm gonna talk myself into reading it just by doing this video, but maybe that is a good thing. 2 more, I believe. We're gonna do 2 more. Might be 11. Who knows? Game Board of the Gods by Rochelle Mead. Why have I not read this book? I don't know. It seems like everything I would like in a book. Has anybody read Game Board of Gods? In a futuristic world nearly destroyed by religious extremists, Justin March lives in exile after failing his job as an investigator of religious groups and supernatural claims. But Justin is given a second chance when May Koskinen comes to bring him back to the Republic of the United North America. Raised in an aristocratic caste, May is now a member of the military's most elite and terrifying tier, a soldier with enhanced reflexes and skills. So, I think I know why I haven't read this. And it is because Rochelle Mead herself has said that she is not going to finish the series. And it's because the publishers dropped it after the second book was released. And so I think I actually might get rid of this book. I do have it on my shelves, but because it's not ever going to be finished, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And I do remember that Rochelle Mead did say that it was because the series didn't sell. Even though it's highly rated on Goodreads, it just didn't sell. So that was what caused that book to not be published, or that series to not continue. All right, and the final book that I'm going to talk about is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. My husband actually bought me this for Christmas, not last year, but the year before, and I still haven't read it. My issues with young adult are so strange. I can't tell you what I'm gonna like and what I'm not gonna like. And lately it seems hit or miss or what I'm in the mood for. So I loved reading the first book of the Grisha trilogy, and I have loved quite a few young adult recently, but I have not liked quite a few young adult recently. And this one I know leans young and is almost middle grade. So I know it's very highly rated, I know it's very highly praised, but let me know, is this a book that I can read as a 37-year-old and still enjoy? I'm very, very interested to know if that would actually, like, would it actually hold up? Would I actually really be interested in this, having never read it before and going to it now? Okay, well, that was 10 or 11 of the oldest books on my TBR. Let me know what you guys think about these books. Should I read them? Are they books that you think I will enjoy? Have you read them? Tell me all the things. Let me know so that I know if I need to move on from these books or keep them on my TBR. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!